Well, hello loves and happy Sunday to you. I am super excited about this project, and last week's journal page inspired a whole series of art, and I can't wait to talk about that at the end of the video and all the things that kind of rolled into that. But down here on my table is what we're creating today, and this is done on a 16 by 20 cradle board, and it was actually a piece that I had tested a bunch of different textures on and thought I would use it for a different workshop and that kind of thing, and it has been sitting in my studio for probably 2 years. And I saw it, and as soon as I saw it, I knew that it was the one to kind of kick off this series. And so I want to go over real quick the supplies, and then we'll talk more about this and where I'm going with these at the end of the video. Okay, so 16 by 20 cradle board, and then I used a bunch of different papers, and I put those down with my fluid matte medium, I think, or my matte gel. I don't remember. One of those. I know I used my fluid matte medium because I used tissue paper, and because fluid matte medium makes your tissue paper kind of disappear into your background. Then I used a bunch of just yummy colors, and I did a template for myself, and that's typically what I will do when I know that I'm going to be working in a series. I will color swatch my colors and for each piece sketch out a general idea and then kind of let it flow. But so I've got sap green, permanent violet dark, quinacridone magenta, permanent magenta, alizarin crimson hue, however you say it, I never say it right, opera rose, pale pink, and pale terracotta. And I did a mixture of all of these. Some were pretty true to color, and I'll show you my palette. So some were pretty true to color, and then I just, went off the rails and started. This is that opera pink, it's unbelievable, and mixed my colors. And then for my greens, this is a new color that I found called bronze yellow. It's like a gold. It's like a gold green, but I don't know. Anyway, I really like this color. It's very interesting. And then I used my high flow in green gold because I could not find my other green gold, and this was the only color I wanted. I knew this was the right color. That was the color in my color palette because I had swatched out a different green, and it was too bright in this green gold, and I mixed a little bit of that bronze yellow in there too to kind of give it a more greenish hue. And then I also used my burnt sienna. Burnt sienna is just a really good, like, dark undertone. Did I say I did that? Okay, I think I did. I think I'm repeating myself. I'm super excited about this, what is happening, about the inspiration. I did use a little bit of beige in my mixture to kind of tone down some of my reds and my pinks. I used raw acrylic ink, Liquitex acrylic ink in transparent raw umber to give me my grunginess. And the reason I did that was because of the texture. I knew that I wanted that grungy to sink into that texture, to really show it off and to really kind of play it up. This is so grungy, good. I used some gray for the background to start toning and pushing everything back along with my gesso. I used some black paint for my stenciling and gesso for my stenciling. I had some tissue papers that I had already used with some of my, this was Numbers jumbled stencil tissue paper that I had in my stash. And then I used graphics 1 or 2, large roses. This is abstract flowers. I think I'll have them all listed. Oh, for the love. This is childish font. This is bold numbers. I used all of those in my piece, and I used my this is scribbly vines and scribbly leaves. I don't know if you can see that or not. But what I did was I painted my stencils and then stamped them onto rice paper and tissue paper. Because, then the reason I did this, one, because I like this process, but the texture on here was so outrageous that I knew that if I tried to stencil directly on here, I wouldn't get a clean stencil image. And I knew that if I did it on tissue paper or rice paper, I could cut this out, and you'll see in the video, as I put these down, I'm loading it heavily with fluid matte medium, and with my brush, I'm pushing it down like this to get down into all of that texture. And like this went right over this texture beautifully, and that's what I love about this technique. So you can get any image you want on any amount of texture. You just need to make sure that it's pushed down. And it won't, there'll be some cloudy areas just because, you know, it doesn't come completely in contact with the surface, but if you work it a little bit, it looks fabulous. Plus, I just love how like random the print, because it truly looks like a print versus a stencil, and I love that look. Let's see what else. Charcoal pencil. I said Stabilo all pencil, and papers, stencils. That's about it. Okay, so those are the supplies that I used for this project. Let's dive in and start creating, and then we'll chat at the end of the video. All right, my loves, isn't this an awesome project? I just love it. I fell madly in love with it. I think for a lot of reasons, but I am just thrilled with it. And just a couple things. So all the stencils that I use today, which are quite a few, will be on sale this week. I didn't use any collage packs, so just the stencils will be on sale this week. And what else do I need to tell you? By the time you see this, my new workshop will be out. Seasons of Change. It's a study in abstract landscapes. So fun. I just love it. I had a blast putting it together, and I love the process and all the different things that we learn in it, and the freedom in it, and also the restraint of it to create the abstract. And we're creating smalls. I hope you'll check that out. What else? Oh, the other thing is Art Bundle for Good is available and out for you if you want it. I don't know if you got it. I've been in it now 3 or 4 times, and it is phenomenal. For what you get, there's like $5,000 worth of instruction. Teachers, like 48 teachers. Maybe more than that. I think there's more than that. Anyway, I'll have all of that listed down below, so you can check that out if you want and get in on all the goodness. I mean, it's awesome. I take it and learn so much. It's all different mediums too. It's everything that you could think of that you would want to know about different kinds of mediums and art and that kind of thing. It's in there. So anyway, okay, I'll stop yammering. Okay, to my piece. So last week I did the journal page, and it was called Tender and Grungy or something like that. Soft against the hard. Kind of that juxtaposition of having hard times and still being tender. And I felt really raw with that journal page, and that's kind of, like I shared, that's kind of the season that I'm in. It's just been hard in so many ways. We had another separate little flood after we had just put everything back together. It's just those kinds of things where it's like, are you kidding me? And so, not to mention just all of the things, and it's been a continual motion of that for probably a couple years now. Not necessarily personally like it has been for the last month or 2 or 3. It's been about 3 months now. But just overall in general world stuff, it's just been heavy. And so as I did my journal page, I just really kind of let out the things that were just kind of weighing on me, and just kind of a prayer through my creative time. And I loved the page. I loved the colors. I loved the feeling of it. I loved that grungy and that soft part of the page, and how much that represented me in this space, in this moment, in this time. And that it's okay that all of those, like both of those feelings, being tender and soft and kind and gracious, also dealing with the hard and the difficult, and those two are okay to be together. And so as I was reflecting on that, and I kind of do my meditation journal prayer time in the morning, I really started thinking about that, and it was like this inspiration light bulb came on, and I want to do a series. I want to do a series of really grungy with really soft flowers or leaves, just that contradiction of the two, and let that continue to pour out of me until it's gone. And I think that as artists, as creatives, we really need to allow ourselves to let our creative time be that expression, whatever it is, because this art is not for everybody. It's a little too grungy on some parts for someone, especially when you've got some kind of, florals and that kind of thing. And the graphic, like the big giant circles on this piece, the graphic parts of this piece, just might not be for everybody. But it will be for somebody. And even if it's not, it is okay for me. And if it sits on my wall or on my shelf forever, fine. I love it. And it's a key element in my healing and my processing of all the things that have happened over the last, let's just say, 6 months. And that's what we need to allow our art to do for us. And typically when we do that, when I say I'm going to create this series and just let it pour out, all this stuff pour out through my art, that is usually when my art is the best. When I let go of any expectation, I don't care what anybody thinks, I'm doing this for me, that's when it's always the best. And as creatives, what an amazing opportunity we have right in front of us on our tables with our paints, with all our things, to be able to let go. To be able to be brought to the present moment and be able to walk through our things, our stuff, our feelings. What an amazing opportunity to just be able to find a space for gratitude. That's what our creative time is for. No matter what you do, no matter what you create, no matter if you're creating for thousands of people or just yourself. And it has lifted this, when I kind of process through this, and I'm just writing away in my journal like crazy, because it was like a release. Once I kind of got to the end of my time, it was like I felt light. I felt lighter, and I just said a prayer of gratitude, and I want that for you too. I want you to, because so often we can come to our tables and expect to create something great, and that doesn't happen, especially when we're unmotivated, when we're going through the things. I mean, I've created a lot of things over the last few months that have not been great, and you've seen them. The fall leaves one, that took me 3 times to kind of get into my groove. So I just want you to realize what a blessing we have in our art supplies, in our journals, in our canvases. What a blessing, because we can allow that to soothe us, to comfort us, to bring us to a present space of gratitude. And I pray that for you. I've been praying that for me for months, and it's like it broke. And I am just incredibly, incredibly grateful and excited for what I'm going to create. I can't wait. I'm thinking about it in the middle of the night now, and I haven't done that in a long time. And I couldn't wait to get in here. And I normally can't wait I love what I do. But I couldn't wait to get in this morning and create and play and color swatch and all those things. And man, it felt so good to be so inspired and light. That's the word, light. So I pray that for you today. I pray that you let go of any expectations, that you let go of anybody's opinion, because gosh darn, that just doesn't matter. And that you are able to be present in your moment of creativity and let it serve you. Let it serve you in a way that nothing else really can, because it's just you. And it's just your journal or your canvas. And allow it to bring you to that place of gratitude. All right, my loves. I hope you enjoyed today's project, and thank you so much for always being here, and always your words of encouragement over the last few months have just been amazing. Brought me to tears several times. I can't wait to explore this avenue of tender and hard, tender and strong, those two things together, because aren't we all those things? Always. All right, my loves, I hope your Sunday is awesome, and I hope that you always know that you are loved.